Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at a very old school team. We're going to have a team here with the Noctowl, as well as the LilyNiRiain Stunfisk, as well as the Sableye in the Open Great League. And no, those are not battles from a year ago, those are battles from now, because I kinda want to take a look if those Pokemon can still do something in the current meta. And what can I say? I am surprised in a positive way, which I did not really expect at all. This team, or like those Pokemon, actually still are way better than I expected. And my favorite Pokemon of this team is actually the LilyNiRiain Stunfisk. I did not really expect it too much because like nobody's using it right now. In general, steel types are a little bit tricky to play right now. But LilyNiRiain Stunfisk was honestly so good to play, which you're gonna see here already in the first battle as the opponent decides to forfeit. Then we're going to have here our Sableye, of course. Sableye worked out pretty well as well, but I feel like Sableye is kinda outdated a little bit in the current meta as well. Like, it's just like, the issue is for Sableye, I think that it's too slow, which is kind of funny because Sableye is usually not really a slow Pokemon, but it's too slow compared to a lot of the other Pokemon in the meta because others are just faster, like a Whiscash, like a Feraligatr, stuff like this. It's going to be a little bit faster, but still it is definitely something that can work out pretty well. And now we're going to have Noctowl here. Noctowl actually did only receive a slight nerf, I guess, by needing 5 more energy on the Sky attack, and so that it completely disappeared most likely did not really like happen from the Sky attack alone, and more like the meta and how it shifted around it. But honestly, this Pokemon still is actually pretty damn decent. What can I say about it? Like, it's still a very bulky Pokemon. Shadow Ball is still the exact same, which you're gonna see here right now as well. You're still going to have Wing Attack, which is a very good fast move. Like, this Pokemon is honestly wildly underrated for what it is right now, at least. Yeah, of course, there are going to be some other flying type Pokemon that might be a little bit better in the current meta, like the Skarmory right now, but like, it is not really saying with that the Noctowl itself is a bad Pokemon at all. And so I would really recommend you to maybe give those Pokemon a try again, as you're going to be able to win this battle here, because I actually played this pretty well as well. But we can move on to the next opponent. This is an issue which I encountered quite often with this team though. Like, there were quite a lot of Annihilate in the lead today, which was not really ideal for me, but it is okay for this team. Like, in general, we're going to have 2 Pokemon that can deal with the Annihilate here as well, so like, it's not going to be a very bad thing in general, but of course our backline is pretty strong against it. But of course, yeah, like, it is just a little bit annoying if you have to swap out, but it is what it is. Like, we don't really have directly an ABB style line here. It is more like an ABC style team, which is also kind of interesting because you barely really see this. Like, you have way more ABA styles or whatever, but like, this is actually just like 3 Pokemon that work out pretty well together, but don't really have like common weaknesses in terms of save swap as well as the Pokemon in the back. And look at Sableye here, was able to realign. The opponent actually decided to forfeit at this point. Look at this, we're going to see a great matchup for us again. Trevenant comes in, Trevenant goes out, the opponent decides to forfeit immediately. And honestly, like, this team worked out pretty well for me. Like, in like 2.5 sets, I had like 1 set where I already started in with like 2 losses, I think, from a different team that you have not seen maybe at this point. I don't know when this video is actually coming up, but I climbed up around like 80 points, I think, with this team. So definitely totally a team that is still working out pretty well. I would recommend you to try this one out here. But of course, there are going to be also some issues still, which we might see here today. We're going to see a Gustlet here, which is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. Sadly, they're still going to go for a charge move, otherwise you would have been able to farm down here. Not too sure if the extra shield was really working out for me, but of course the opponent is going to have the Annihilate here again, and they have a Vigoroth in their back, and this is going to be just a little bit of a tough one. Them being double weak to Fairy type Pokemon is also a little bit of a weird one, to be fair, but yeah, I just gonna let them play whatever they want to play. Here we're still gonna be able to go for another Sky attack as I decide to use a shield. This is basically my only play of winning this game, is just to try to get the opponent's Vigoroth low enough that I can go up to 1 Earthquake with my LilyNiRiain Stunfisk, and yeah, basically throw it then against the Annihilate. But we also have to hope that the Annihilate is going to be low enough that 1 Earthquake is going to knock them out, which we're going to see very soon, because the opponent actually goes for a charge move, which is totally okay for me, as we will see the Body Slam not doing any damage really, and we can go for the Earthquake. Is this going to be enough here for us to knock them out? It is not, and so sadly we're going to now lose this game here. But it is okay, kind of, like, honestly, it's kind of okay here for us. We can just move on. The thing is, we're going to encounter, as I said before, like, so many Annihilate in the lead, which was really annoying for me. The thing is here as well, though, that the matchup, which we just saw before with the Earthquake just barely didn't knock them out, would have been different before the Earthquake nerf. And I honestly don't know if the Earthquake nerf that happened was actually something that needed to be happening, because I feel like it would have been still totally fine if we still had the old Earthquake. Like Pokemon that used Earthquake are like basically just the Galarian Stunfisk, the Swampert, and those Pokemon are not really in the meta anymore. So I kind of would not mind if they revert the Earthquake change and just put Earthquake a little bit stronger again, because there are other Pokemon right now anyway that are going to have something like Dig or Scorching Sands, which are decent moves and decent alternatives anyway. So like maybe give Earthquake a little bit more love again. But here we're going to be able to get the opponent actually into a range where we can just go for a Rock Slide after this return, which is going to be lovely. We can go into our Galarian Stunfisk. And the best thing about this Pokemon, by the way, is you can take 2 Surfs, and this is very important for that kind of matchup. Here the opponent stops into the Annihilate. As long as they don't have Close Combat, we should be kind of fine. Close Combat would not knock us out either, though. We still would have been able to survive it most likely. They get the boost here, I think, which doesn't matter, because we can just go ahead, go for the Sky Attack and knock them out. And now it's going to be the Lantern against our Noctowl, which does not work for them. They are forced to go for a bait here, basically, to keep like their energy, which does not work out for them either, because Noctowl is still a very, very bulky boy. Sky Attack coming through, knocking them out, and we can move on to the next opponent. Honestly, I was insanely unlucky with the leads that I encountered here today. I think there was like the 4th Annihilate in a row now. Like, I have not seen that many Annihilates at all recently. And so that is kind of a wild thing to be happening, but maybe we can still take advantage of it. We're going to see here the Dewgong in the back. And with Dewgong as a safe swap, I kind of fear that there's going to be a Lantern in the back. Lantern would make a lot of sense for this kind of team here. Or something like a Bastion could also be in the back, still lurking. Here we can still get another charge move off, which is going to get the opponent fairly low. They're still going to let this move go through. I let this move go through as well, because I can Mudshot them down now, which is going to be great for me as well, because, yeah, again, we kind of want to have the energy. But as I decide to swap out, we're going to be able to align our Noctowl here, which is going to be great, as now one Sky Attack is going to be enough to knock them out. I go straight for it because they had a little bit of extra energy anyway, and so Sky Attack is coming through, is going to be able to get the knockout, and in the back is going to be a Lantern. But I will be able to reach that Shadow Ball in time, and Shadow Ball kind of puts them into a range where Rock Slide might be already our play, as the fast move of Mudshot is going to be great against the opponent, but it's going to be a little bit tricky here, as they got up to 100 energy basically. We are forced to use a shield here. It is going to be able to connect against the Surf, but I have to be a little bit careful here. They still have the Dewgong in the back with a few HP left. I know that the Dewgong is kind of energy dry, but also if they would catch the move, I don't think it would be too bad, because we're gonna see it here right now. Surf is not going to two-shot us. They need 3 Surfs in order to knock me out. So if I'm going to be able to just knock out the Dewgong before the Ice Shot damage is coming in, which you're going to see here, it is still going to be totally fine for me. And so we can just try to reach for another Rock Slide. Is this going to be enough? It is going to be enough. Like, spoiler alert, this is easily going to be enough. And we can move on to the next opponent again. Please no Annihilate in the lead. It is a Mantine. This is... You think it is a good lead. This actually changed as well throughout the seasons, because, yeah, there is a move that got buffed this season, which is something that at least Mantine can run. Most people don't run it, so like it is still something where you want to stay in usually. But if they are running the move, they are running the move. It is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. So we're going to be able to go for another Rock Slide. This is going to connect most likely and get them insanely low. Low enough that we can farm down with either of our Pokemon, but they decide to keep their energy, and that's a little bit of a trickier one. But as you can see here, we can go for a foul play against the opponent's Whiscash. Whiscash is gonna be able to get also a move off, but because it's guaranteed a Scald, I kind of want to use a shield here. We are not gonna get dropped in terms of our attack, which is going to be lovely as well. The foul play hopefully gonna get the knockout, but we most likely just gonna get the shield here, and so we can reach for another one. I'm going to let this move go through. Let's see what it's going to be. It is going to be the Mud Bomb, which is great for me because I cannot get debuffed from it. It does less damage, and we see P-tie on the next charge move. There's no way that they're going to use a shield here because it's not really worth it for them. And let's see what is coming in next. It's going to be the Mantine. I decided to let this move go through because I was hoping that my Pokemon in the back, my Noctowl, is going to be enough to knock out whatever they have in the back. It is going to be a Greedent, and Greedent honestly surprised me. Like, I encountered, I think, this Pokemon twice as well. Greedent seems to be a little bit more common nowadays, but I'm going to go ahead and go for the, I want to say Brave Bird, for the Sky Attack here. Sky Attack is going to connect here. Let's see how much damage it's going to do against the opponent. It is going to be able to do around half of the opponent's health, and so we are actually in a decent spot. I tried to catch a move, did not work out, but I can go for a charge move. And while this would not knock them out, it would put them into range where I can farm them down with just the wing attack alone, which is going to be, like, would have been great, of course. But they decided to go for a crunch now. They can knock me out, not quite, but close. And I can go for the sky attack immediately in order to try to knock out the Greedent. Let's see if this is going to be enough. It is going to be enough, and so this is going to be a good game, and we can move on to the next opponent. Whiscash in the lead. Not something you want to see, but something we have to deal with. So we swap out into the Sableye. I hope that we can go for the foul play in time, and we can. I don't know if the opponent lagged or whatever, but we can just go ahead and go for the foul play, get the shield from the opponent, and I can now decide to use a shield here as well as the Scald is going to drop our attack, and this is going to be sadly a crucial thing, because like this, the opponent is going to be in a matchup with their own Sableye, where I just don't do enough damage here. And I was thinking, oh, the opponent gonna do basically the same amount of damage as I did, and I would be able to still get to another charge move, but no, I cannot. But also, the opponent is now in a range where they can still go for 2 charge moves against my Noctowl. So this is not really the greatest play for me, or like the greatest scenario for me, and so they're gonna go for 1 foul play here. I was hoping that I can farm them down. I cannot, and we have to see what they're going to have in the back. Hopefully it's not a Lantern. It is going to be a Skarmory, which is not way better. It's kind of game over. Like, this is going to be completely RPS. Next opponent, we're going to see here the Sandslash. And again, is there any kind of old Pokemon, by the way, that might not really see any play in the current meta that you kind of want to see in PvP, then let me know in the comment section. And while you scroll down there anyway, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Would really appreciate it. It is free, as you're gonna see here, that we're gonna be able to catch a move from the opponent's Sandslash. I played this matchup pretty bad because I didn't go for the Earthquake, which would have one-shot them. I decided to go for the bait, and also I'm forced to go for another shield here because it's going to be another Drill Runner, which would have knocked me out most likely. But at least I have a ton of energy. But is it going to help me? Or we will find out shortly. Foul play coming through. I hope that I can reach the next one in time as well. The opponent decides to let this move go through, which is okay for me. But as you can see, we are still going to be in a tough spot. The Aerial Ace is going to knock us out, and we are basically going to be forced to go into our Galarian Stunfisk. And we're going to try to overfarm by quite a bit here, because we kind of need some kind of advantage. The opponent lets this move go through, and so maybe I can just wing attack them down with my own Noctowl. But we're still 2 shields basically below what they are, and so hopefully it's going to work out. It is working out, but can we still win this game? It's going to be so close. They're going to have Annihilate in the back. So what we can do is we can still go for Sky Attack. They're definitely in Earthquake range, and if we're going to be able to reach another Sky Attack in time, we might actually have a play now. So let's see what the opponent's going to try to do. Hopefully it's not a close combat variant. Yeah, that's basically sealing the deal. I think if they didn't have close combat, we still definitely had a chance of winning this game, which is kind of wild. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, there's not a lot that I can do about it. I can still try to reach another Earthquake in time, but yeah, it's not going to work out for me. So basically, the only nemesis of this team is kind of the Annihilate. Even we have 2 answers for this Pokemon, you just barely get into the position where it really helps us. You know what helps us? It's going to be this lead matchup, but honestly, I made the mistake here against the Hakomo. Like, I had this like several times already where people ran Hakomo as a safe swap against me. I should just stay in with my lead for a little bit, go for a charge move, wait until they go for a Brick Break, and then just going to swap out afterwards after I go maybe for an Earthquake or something. Because like this, because Brick Break and because of the Dragon Tail damage, they will be able to align themselves here. No matter what I'm going to do, I can just get basically a shield advantage if I wanted to, but they will always be able to align themselves. And this is going to be very tough because now we're going to align our Sableye against a Carbink, and I don't really like this. And so our only play here is to try to go for a full farm down with our Sableye against the opponent's Hakomo. It is going to be working out pretty well for us, so we have a move stored, and we have to hope that somehow our Stunfisk is going to be able to win this game. Issue is here that they're going to have a Trevenant in the back, which is not really ideal for us. We're going to be able to go ahead and get 1 Rock Slide off. And honestly, before the recent change to Earthquake and basically dropping the attack of the Earthquake, basically the amount of damage they can do with that, this was the ideal play that you can go for. You can go basically for 1 Rock Slide and 1 Earthquake to knock them out. But as you can see here, the 10 less damage that it does now really matters because we cannot knock them out with that, but we can at least get a ton of energy. They're going to have double resisted fast moves here against me, but I still can have to count the opponent's energy because I know that they're going to get to the Rock Slide before I can go for 1 Earthquake, and I can perfectly catch the move here now. onto my Sableye. They're going to maybe do a little bit too much damage for their own sake there. Maybe if they went for a 0 bubble one and just tried to farm me down, they had a decent player still winning. But like this, Sableye is going to be able to get them kind of low. They would be in rock slide range, but I know that I can go for an Earthquake anyway. And so it's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see some more old Pokemon in the Go Battle League, then let me know below. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.